everyone. I'm Michael Landfield from Peaceful Village Raw Vegan Healing Community. And today, and sorry there's a little bit of sun in my eye, but today I'm going to be talking with you about dangerous animals in the Amazonian jungle. Well, we have some comments and concerns from people that want to visit this place that say, hey, I'm not staying in a tent. There's too many wild animals here, jaguars and tarantulas and snakes, and they're going to bite me, and I'm going to, and you don't support the medical industry. So what do I have to say about that? There's a lot of people that talk negatively about being in the jungle, and society also promoting that the jungle is so wild, it's so ferocious, we need to be in fear of the animals. And I want to talk a little bit about that because I think there's a big misconception when it comes to the Amazonian jungle. So here we are in the place called Ecuador in the northern part, and we're in a jungle. It's not too far from town, but not too close either. And it's pretty wild. There's some areas that are very overgrown and bushy and a lot of forest. And there's some parts that have already, from previous times, have been cleared a little bit. So it's less wild, as some people would call it. And I want to talk about the myths, because there's a lot of myths about living in the jungle. And people don't realize that the jungle, the nature, is where we're, as human beings, where all animals are supposed to be living. We're so disconnected from nature. We're so disconnected from that inner being of who we are, that spirit. And the spirit really is connected to nature. So we've had some of our own experiences with interacting with non-human animals. Some people have called the most dangerous animals in the world. So we have this snake called, here they call Ekis. I forgot the scientific name, but I will post it down below in the description. But this animal is a snake, supposedly the most deadliest snake, or one of the most deadliest snakes, and the one that most attacks or is encountered with humans, basically, and attacks humans. Ekis is a snake. I'll post a picture somewhere. But we had an interaction with Ekis several times. And believe it or not, these animals have no inclination to attack us, deliberately attack us, to do anything. In fact, they're very peaceful animals. They have no intention to want to attack humans. They're only basically here to fulfill what their purpose, you know. And they watch us. They're curious. And a lot of times we've been even meters, even centimeters away from this animal called Ekis. And they had no intention to harm us, because we had no intention to harm them. And also, sometimes we didn't even realize that they were there, because they're so camouflaged, especially the females are so camouflaged. And they're brown, and they camouflage themselves in the ground, and so it's very hard to see them. And I've been centimeters. My partner has also been centimeters away from working very close to them. And when we do see them or witness them or are very close to them, basically we talk to them that we're friends, we have no intention to harm them, we love them, thank you for being here and doing your part in the ecosystem to make a balance within the ecosystem. And it seems that nobody wants to harm. If we don't harm anyone and we are very calm, especially when we see them, they have no intention to harm us. We had, I think, a boa constrictor inside our cabin. Some people would be screaming and fearful and taking a machete and trying to chop the boa constrictor, but the animal is more scared of us than we are of them. In fact, the animal was kind of hidden behind a box that we have and was more scared of us actually. Yeah, we had to leave the cabin for a little while until the animal could leave. And so at that time, that was our first true experience with snakes. We had, the snake, by the way, did not harm us at all and just left into the jungle after some time. So we just have to, we just have to not be afraid, don't, be very calm, and to, yeah, there's nothing to be fearful. They're all our friends. We're family on this earth. And they belong here just as much as we belong here. You know, they're the ones who are keeping everything in balance. We're the ones who are destroying nature, human beings. And we had tarantulas basically living with us, and no problem with tarantulas. They don't attack us. They're not deliberately attacking us or anything. We had even the deadliest spider in the world living with us, called a Brazilian wandering spider. And they live, usually you can find them in boxes. Like when you have fruit box, like a box with fruit in it or with any other things in it, they like to go inside, you know, they like to hide. And at one time we had for many months that animal living right there, and we were actually eating right beside the animal, like a few centimeters away from the animal. So animals don't have any inclination to harm us. They don't want to deliberately harm us. They're not the vicious animals wanting to attack us. Now, there are some people that say they see jaguars in this part of the world, and it's true, there are jaguars, but we haven't seen any. We have seen large lizards. We have seen something called the black agouti, which is kind of an animal this size that looks like a big rat, probably. So rodent, black agouti. I'll post the names down below, but basically they have no intention to harm us. I had in fact been bitten several times, but nothing life-threatening. Ultimately, I was bitten several times because I walk, I don't know if you can see, barefoot. I walk barefoot many times all over the land. And ultimately, I'm walking more mindfully now since I'm walking more barefoot. I'm connecting with the earth. Yeah. The only thing I don't like is when I step on sometimes the stumps, but otherwise, like sticks coming out of the ground. That was a small tree before. I try to be aware of those things. Sometimes I do wear clogs or sandals when I'm in the thick bushes somewhere or there's a lot of ants. If there's a lot of ants in an area that I need to do something, I will wear boots. But most of the time I'm walking barefoot. I really love it. Frees my feet up. I can walk anywhere. So I had an instance where even a scorpion bit me, and I was incapacitated or decapacitated for about 2 or 3 days, and I was good. Here there's some little ants, but I was okay. I was good. I was not 2-3 days. That was it. There was not much pain, just a little inflammation, and that was it. It's like no problem. I had many spiders, different ants bite me because mistakenly when I'm walking, accidentally I mean, when I'm walking, sometimes I can step on an animal and I don't realize. But this makes us become more aware of our surroundings, becoming more mindful and understanding when we're walking barefoot. And I always, most of the time, well, I'm living without clothes, so I'm not wearing clothes. I'm walking like a wild jungle man with beard, with long hair. You know, I love my non-conformity, non-shaving, so I love that. My partner too. She's lovely. She's amazing. So the animals here, there's nothing to be afraid of. You know, sometimes we can be startled by a snake or by a grasshopper that goes in our hair or someone that just jumps in our face mistakenly. But really, there's nothing to be fearful. You know, all that fear is promoted by society, by media, by governments, by documentaries, by news. Yeah, all this fear. Stay in the city, it's more safe, blah, 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 blah. We're enslaved in the city, in the towns. Society is not really the place to be. It's artificial, it's not natural. We're just so disconnected, we're so depressed, and we're so lonely, and we're so lost, and we cannot find ourselves because we're disconnected from nature. That's all it is. And yeah, in the beginning, I had to get used to, for example, I was living in Costa Rica at some point, and I had to get used to living with spiders. There was a lot of spiders creating their amazing webs inside the house. And I'm saying to myself, okay, I can just, dust their net and get rid of them, But I said, no, I'm going to keep them because they're vital. From time to time, there's some insects, and so they do their job to balance in the ecosystem. So I'm happy. I love them, And at first I was afraid, and then no longer I'm afraid. Of course, I don't want to have a tarantula on me, but now I did. At some points, I did have a tarantula run up my leg several times. In fact, several spiders. And at first, yeah, you get kind of startled because you don't know what to expect. And I think when animals come to us, there's only two reasons. And I'm talking about animals besides the gnats and the mosquitoes and the flies and all these other animals that deliberately attack us. I'm talking about spiders, scorpions. Scorpions are a little different, but spiders and snakes, they're usually, and some other animals, they're usually more curious. So they want to, when they're usually coming closer to us, they're more curious. So they want to know about us. They want to see what we're doing. And I believe truly that they are listening to what we say. Or if we're with people and we talk, they like to listen. They love to listen. They love to be there. And we had many instances living with scorpions. Not living with scorpions, actually. Living with spiders. We had some occurrences of scorpions, but spiders. Mainly tarantulas, one Brazilian wandering spider, and then another spider, I can't remember the name, but very long legs, but sometimes they're around the buildings. They're very harmless. In fact, many animals will retreat. Yeah, and there's a lot of ants as well, and ants sometimes bite, and some are more painful than others. And they're just protecting themselves if we step on them accidentally, if we're walking and stepping on them. So when we're more mindful and we're walking barefoot, we're more mindful, we tend to step on them less. And I walk in the thickets, in the jungles. I walk mountains barefoot, for example. I've walked even naked. And you imagine, nothing has happened to me so far. I'm still here. I'm still alive and thriving. I love it here in the jungle. In fact, that was one of the reasons why I was so depressed in my life, because I ultimately was so disconnected from nature. I had nature around me. Yes, I was there in a park or in a pond, close to a pond. I can go there for an hour or 2 hours every day, but it was not the same. I was so disconnected truly from being in nature, from immersing myself in nature. And people don't realize that this is what we really need. There's no amenities, yes, there's no amenities. There's no cinemas, there's no malls, there's no fast food chains, there's no all kinds of stuff, It's basically raw, nature or natural living in nature. Yeah, there's There's a fly that really loves me here. But anyways, this is a most amazing place. People would say you're crazy. People would say it's so dangerous. People would say, how can you walk naked and barefoot most of the time? Just maybe in the nighttime, in the morning, early morning when it's raining, I wear clothes because it's kind of cool, a little bit more cooler. But it's tropical weather. It's very fantastic. It's about 400 or 500 meter elevation, so it's really incredible weather, almost all year round. It's just incredible, you know. We're even living in a kind of open cabin. Right now, there's no door, there's no windows, it's open. We got 360-degree view. It's beautiful. A lot of airflow coming in, a lot of things, you know, and animals do come in. Cockroaches, ants. We had some scorpions. We had the spiders, as we mentioned. We had the one snake, and we love them. They're our family. They're our family on this earth. We're relatives. They are beautiful. You know, beautiful. I'm not scared of them. I'm getting less and less in fear of them. So there's nothing to be afraid of. You know? But one thing I want to say to people that are still so fearful of being in the jungle with these, what people call wild, venomous, poisonous, dangerous creatures, that they're going to send you to the hospital. What happens if you get bitten, seriously bitten by one of them, and you need a doctor, or you need a hospital, or you need some serum, or whatever you need to relieve that? And the thing is, I don't need anything from the medical industry, because we're trusting that nature provides all the healing, especially when we do also the inner work, the meditation, the healing. And another thing I want to mention is that the more good we do in this lifetime, the more harm we reduce, and the less the more the animals know that we don't have the inclination to harm them deliberately. There's a symbiosis, you know, a harmony that comes in play. And so the whole idea is really that the more good we do, the less harm we do. And we talk to the animals and the plants, and we interact with them, and we really connect with them internally, from our hearts, from our souls, from our spirits, also verbally. We speak to them. Then they realize, hey, they don't have any inclination to harm us. And over time, slowly, I believe even the flies, the common house fly, and the gnats and the mosquitoes, even though we don't have a lot here, there's very, very little occurrence of them. Sometimes there's just a few, like this little ant here, so beautiful on my foot, not harming me at all. But there are some that, of course, that bite, and we know which ones do. These ones bite only when accidentally stepped on or provoked, but otherwise they have no intention to harm us at all. In fact, he's just on my foot here. I don't know if you can see. It's so beautiful. I had many animals on my hands interacting with me, curious about what I was doing. I was talking to them. They were so beautiful. I had moths on my hand, butterflies. I had some other insects on my hands that I don't know the names of. Really, non-human animals are beautiful. You know, it's humans that are the more destructive species on this earth. And if we are going to be afraid of anybody, it's humans. It should be humans, not other beings that don't really attack humans, you know, deliberately. So that is the message that I have for people. If people still feel scared of visiting the jungle, there's nothing I can do to persuade you to come to Peaceful Village Raw Vegan Healing Community. But there's one thing to say to you. The fear slowly goes away. Slowly goes away, especially when we start to love and we start to cherish and we start to appreciate every creature for their uniqueness and their beauty and their and understanding that nobody has the true intention to deliberately attack someone. Nobody is here to deliberately attack someone. If they're here deliberately attacking someone like a human attacking us, it's because first of all we have probably bad karma to deal with, and we're receiving that because of whatever harm we caused before, or because they're just suffering. They're suffering from whatever it is, if they suffering from love, lack of understanding, lack of maybe loneliness. So a lot of loneliness people feel, depression, this kind of stuff. So we even keep our everything open. We're not afraid of people coming and stealing our things. If they want to steal our things, they need those things more than we need them. It's just material objects, really. So I feel more at peace on our own land. I feel more at peace. Here's our friend, the little housefly. I don't know if you can see him. Hi! I feel more at peace and less in fear here on the land than in towns and cities. Here is where I feel so much more in peace and love and compassion and freedom. This is an incredible experience. I'm so blessed that I had the motivation and the inspiration to move to the tropics in Central South America. I love it here. It's a blessing. And I wish that you can join us here in Peaceful Village, Raw Vegan Healing Community. It's incredible. This place is, I don't know how to express my appreciation and my thankfulness and my gratitude for this place. It's just incredible. This place is incredible, and I'm so thankful that I have the opportunity to live in this kind of place and to get the food and to live in this kind of place where we have the food that we have, all of this kind of stuff. So thank you for joining me. I'm Michael Landfield. If you want to learn more about Peaceful Village, please visit peaceful-village.com. We would love to have you here and to experience this jungle living. And yeah, so thank you for joining us. Bye-bye, everyone. I'm going to post all the links below. So that's about it. So take care, everybody. Bye for now.